Hot Shot Hackett, what's good, man?
Yo, Mill, chilling, man. Where we at? Monday, 17th.
Yeah. 2 weeks till fight night, man.
Yeah,
How you feeling?
I feel good. I'm just here. I'm like, because there's so much going on with the fighters that I train, I'm really not even thinking about it, to be honest. People reminded me of it when I see them. Everybody asks me, oh, you a Dahfir fighting? You a Dahfir? I'm like, oh, shit, yeah, he is fighting. You know what I mean? Another day to me.
All right. Dahfir Smith, you fighting him 29th in Hockensin, Delaware?
Hockensin, Delaware, yeah.
Oh, Hockensin. All right. So he hasn't fought in 6 years.
Yeah.
Do you feel like that's to your advantage, or that he's or is he well rested?
To me, it's definitely to my advantage. Him being rested, I can't say how I'm rested because Dahfir had a pretty good career and a pretty long career. Wins and losses, more wins than losses, so you gotta respect him. But a little older than me, I'm 33. I think Dahfir 37. Not too much older than me. You know, we in the same bracket, but I still got a lot more gas, I think, than he do. So I feel like with the time off that he took, I think, to me, he just trying to see what he got left before he hang it up.
How did this fight come together?
Honestly, somebody called me and asked me, the matchmaker, his name is Nick Tiberi, he called me and asked me, but I take the fight, and this is about the third time Dahfir's name came across my desk, so I said, fuck it, yeah, we go ahead and do it. You know what I mean?
What is the process with making fights or accepting fights? Like, do you get a list?
Money, rounds, weight. That's mainly the argument. The money, the rounds, and the weight. Trying to figure out.
Yes.
I mean, that's it. Negotiating. A fight like this ain't hard to make because we both two guys who made our career on the beach side. So nobody's bitching. But it's just like, all right, trying to get a little bit of advantage. You know what I mean?
How many rounds?
It's
And what's the weight? 4-rounder?
Weight 190.
Why only a 4-rounder? Both of y'all have like well over 20 fights.
Well, when I asked Greg Serve why, his response was, well, I know both of you guys, which I don't know what that means. Because I know Greg Serve from boxing. I don't know what he mean by he knows us.
Yes.
But he said, I know both of you guys, and Dahfir hasn't fought since 14, so 4 rounds. I'm like, all right. I couldn't argue with him. Commission. You know what I mean? I'm just happy he let me, get the opportunity to fight close to home. You know what I mean? It's been a while. It's not exactly home, but it's close enough.
It's a big fight for the area.
For the area, yeah. I think it's an interesting fight for the area. Not so much that it's a big, but it's interesting.
Big as in both of you are very well liked.
Yeah.
And that everybody's going to be there.
Yeah, two respected guys. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if people really, honest, genuinely like us, but we definitely respect the guys. And you have to respect us because we took fights that, they wasn't made for us, and we did what we had to do. So to see two guys like that going at each other, I guess it is big.
I'm telling you on my end that on the card, that's the fight that everybody's talking about.
Yeah, for sure. Oh yeah, when you compare the card, yeah, you got to, because those are the two names. It might not be two championship names, might not be two world-class names, but I think it's world-class. I think we both of us have world-class ability. But even though we fight 4 rounds, it's still a good fight. So I think, yeah, definitely the fight of the night, for sure.
All right. Another question I have for you, right?
Yeah.
You've had a career that is just littered with names like back to back to back.
Yeah.
Why?
At that point in my life, see, you gotta understand something about me, right? I never fought on the big stages in the amateurs. So the names that some of these guys I saw coming up, and some of these guys I heard about coming up. And I'm like, damn, I can fight. I want to test myself. I want to know what it's like to be in there with some of the best fighters. At that time, the up-and-coming guys were who they were, which is one of them was Linus Fox, one of them was Jared Hurd. My debut was against a pretty good guy named Joel Delapads, Rashad Brown, who retired undefeated due to an injury. Knocked all of his opponents out besides me. I had a thing for testing myself. At the same time, I had my son, my first kid, when I was 20 years old. I turned pro at 21. I wasn't working at the time when I turned pro, so when I heard I can go ahead and get a fight for some money, I'm like, fuck it. You know what I mean? I'm from the streets. At the end of the day, people try to always weigh up situations based on how they feel, and they're like, oh, that wasn't worth it, and this wasn't that. I'm from the streets. And what that means is money is not falling off of trees. We are not born in families where, there's money being passed down from 3 generations ago. So what I'm saying that is, if I get an opportunity to go ahead and make some money legally, doing what I like to do, I'm gonna go ahead and do it. But it wasn't always about the money. Sometimes it was about just the test, just to be up against one of those guys. I wanted to see how I would fare up with those guys. At the same time, I was learning the business. See, there was a lot of reasons I took the fights I took. It wasn't just always money or even just testing myself. It was learning the business. I talked to the promoters on my own. I talked to the matchmakers on my own. I had to understand certain things. I had to get burnt. I had to get guys get lied to. I had to get kicked around a little bit to learn the business. But it was worth it because nobody ever pulled that shit over on any of my fighters.
So you feel like that makes you a better trainer?
Yeah, make me a better trainer. For sure. Not even me feeling like it. That's for sure. Because it's a lot of trainers who don't know what the fuck is going on. And all they know is to get their fighter ready, but they don't know what they're getting their fighter ready for. They really honestly don't.
You fought Jarrett Hurd and Fox in the same month.
Yeah.
And mind you, everybody knows Jarrett Hurd is unified champ, and then Fox is a world title challenger.
Yeah.
Only got 2 losses, and one of them was what? Andre?
Boo Boo. Yeah. Boo Boo.
So, that's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, now that I look at it, I'm like, damn, you was tripping. You could have took some better fights. But then again, see, one thing about boxing, right? I'm gonna give y'all a little secret, right? When these fights happen on the small cards, and the matchmakers and promoters get on the phone, the guys coming in on the B side that's dangerous, like myself, I'm gonna call myself dangerous, because they're not gonna let me fight a C+ fighter. I'm not getting a C+ fighter. I'm talking about coming up in the ranks. I'm not getting a guy considered C+, C-, a C, a B-. I'm getting grade A shit. And the reason I'm getting grade A shit is because if you put me up against your C+ fighter, I'm gonna beat him up. I'm gonna beat him up right away. Now the grade A guys, I gotta kind of slow them down, and it's a chess match all the way through. So by the time I figure them out or really get going, the fight is over. You know what I mean? Especially with it only being 6 rounds and shit like that. I fought both of those guys 6 rounds. Good fights. They didn't whoop my ass. Good fights though. And had I took my time, had I had somebody help me, and I could pick fights that was a little suited for me and my style, then yeah, I'll be probably fighting Broner or somebody right now, or Kell Brook, or one of them guys, Crawford.
You fought out of 8 straight fights, 7 of them was undefeated.
Yeah.
I've never seen that. Never.
I've never been scared of nobody. Records never meant anything to me because that's just your record. Those guys you beat up, that shit don't got nothing to do with me.
Yeah, but you also know now that comes back to the business side.
Yeah.
Because a dude is undefeated, that he's gonna get the benefit of the doubt in a close fight.
The odds is definitely in his favor. But coming from where I come from, again, coming from the streets, defeating the odds anyway, coming from the streets, because I thought I would be killed at 19. I'm 33 now. To me, it was taking a shot. All right, take a shot.
Now you say you coming from the streets, right? What part of Philly you from?
I consider myself Germantown.
Germantown?
I was born in North Philly though. Well, really, see, I was born between 2 projects, one called Abbotsford Projects, one East Falls Projects. They both sit directly in the middle of Philly. So it's like they got their own, it's like their own area for real. But some people call it North Philly, some people call it Germantown, some people call it Roxborough, East Falls. You know what I mean? I'm originally from Abbotsford Projects. My mother's from there. That's where I spent a lot of time as a kid, a baby, a young guy.
What's the Abbotsford Projects like?
At that time, back in the day, very rough. A lot of people, packed house. Every day you're gonna have fun. Every day is gonna be something to do. but every day is gonna be some shit to get into because there was so many people. It was rough because if you wanted to compete in the neighborhood, you had to take your licks. I remember trying to play football one day, and a guy that was like 5 years older than me ran me over and had me crying. But my uncle just brushed me off. He was like, "Bro, if you're gonna play, you gotta play. That's how they playing out there." So that's where I started building my toughness, I guess, as a kid. You know.
Do you feel like a Philly guy and a Philly fighter is just a different breed?
Yeah, because there's no bully. See, people are bullies. There are people that's bullies, but it's really no bullies in Philly because bullies don't last long here. For every guy that's trying to be a bully, it's 2 or 3 guys that's like, he got picks, I heard him. Bring him over here. Or let's go get him. You know what I mean? It's really no bullies, no bosses, none of that type of shit here. Everybody equal. You know what I'm saying? Even if they not acting like it, they acting like they the man. Trust me, they humble when they need to be.
Now, your partner Mike Melvin, how did y'all get together?
Believe it or not, Mike Melvin is from the Abbotsford Projects also. My mother used to speak about him boxing back in the day. That's how I first heard about him. Then going into the gyms, the local fights, it'll be cards. You know, fight cards were up. I always saw Mike Pretty Boy Melvin up on the poster. He used to have his braids back in the day, straight backs and shit. Shit shaped up and all that. So I used to be like, damn, he a welterweight. I used to say to my coach, yo, man, take me go get that work with Mike. Take me, and he'd be like, nah, man, because that gym he at, I don't really fuck with them dudes down there. I'd be like, oh, man, like, what that got to do with us sparring? So I never got to run into him then. So come 2012, I walked in the fight firm, which was around the corner on Buttonwood Street, and he just looked at me and said, I knew you was going to find your way down here. And that was really like my first interaction with him. We never really, talked too much. I think we might have talked a little bit on Facebook before that. But Mike got me about 14 years, so it's not like I came up with him. But ever since 2012, we've been tight. We 2020 now.
How many fighters do you have together?
About 7 to 8.
And Mike trained you now, right?
Huh?
He trained you?
Yeah, you can say that. Like my trainer, I just, you know what I mean? It was more of a respect of big brother, little brother. It's like that type thing. You know what I mean? It's like, I wish I would have met Mike though when I was like 17, 18. I wish I would have met him.
All right. So, is this the last fight, Dahfir?
For me?
Yeah, because busy as a trainer. Is this going to be your last go-around?
No. The reason it's not going to be my last fight is because I get an itch. Sometimes I get my itch, and I got to go ahead and test out my sword.
You don't scratch your itch and spar?
Nah, sparring and fighting is 2 different things. It's not the same. It's not the same rush. There's no rush. Sparring is like an exercise. You do your thing, you have a little fun. It's cool, but there's no rush to that. There's no adrenaline rush to that. I like the adrenaline rush. You know what I mean, of a fight. And the reason it won't be my last one is because me working a world-class fight and me fighting is 2 different things. Just because I was just at a world-class fight and helping the guy out and coaching and doing this and that, don't mean I'm fulfilled with that. I like to get physical myself. So I'll take a fight here and there. And I think it's fun. I'm still coaching and rumbling. Who can really say that?
What's your prediction for the fight?
Break him down, slow him down. I'm not gonna say I'm knock him clean out, but I could if I wear him out real good. I could. Not knock him out, but wear him out and stop him. Late third.
I like it.
You know what I mean?